Ship released. Engines engaged.
Hello there, I really like Elite Dangerous. You might have seen a video I made a while back about how it's one of my favourite role-playing experiences, paradoxically because it constantly tells you how unimportant you are as an individual, forcing you to carve your own narrative from the galaxy around you. That's still something I firmly believe, though I do also have a confession to make. I kind of stopped playing? I mean, it's not that I wasn't having fun, but the whole carving my own path thing got a bit overwhelming. I felt a bit aimless in my Cobra Mark III, unsure of whether I wanted to really pursue rare trading, if maybe I should outfit my ship for combat missions, or even where in the galaxy I fancied going. My ability to make up my own narrative, as it turned out, only went so far. I felt lonely and I sort of just stopped playing. But then... Update time! The people behind Elite Dangerous released this new update called Power Play, injecting some welcome added structure to the game. Basically, this update introduced a fistful of faction leaders, each vying to increase their personal control over the galaxy. You can pledge allegiance to one of these leaders, then fly missions to help them out. These include preparing a system for expansion by carrying trade agreements and the like, expanding out to it, i.e. consolidating your hold on that system, then controlling it by making sure nobody else can undermine you and take it out from under your feet. You can also try to undermine other faction systems by flying combat missions there. Oh yeah, it also makes the supporters of rival leaders your mortal enemies, so there's that. In reality, all these missions are just the same as the standard ones you can fly in Elite Dangerous. Go over there, grab this thing. Bring it here, drop it off. Go over there, shoot this thing, come back here, prove you shot it. But there's something about Power Play that helps take your little insignificant pilot with their stupid harmless skill ratings and make them part of something larger, more important. It's totally optional and doesn't really change much unless you commit wholesale, but nonetheless it makes this a pretty good time to get back into the cockpit. I spoke to David Braben, CEO of Frontier Developments, at E3 this year. He seemed pretty aware some players were looking to feel like they belonged to something.
The point to me is that what Elite is, if you like, is the fact you are a very small part of a very large environment, even within human space, which is still quite big, which is, of course, in turn insignificant compared to the galaxy. But I like the idea that you can club together and you can gradually change things. And I like that extra layer, which I think we were missing a little bit before. For players who've been playing, we've got quite a big community of people who've played for hundreds of hours, even more than 1,000 hours. But trying to give a richness for those people who have seen a lot of the things in the game, but now want to influence the game using those things that they've earned as tools.
And you know something? It works. Whole communities have sprung up around each of the leaders, coordinating members' efforts and working out how to undermine others. At the time of recording, lavigny-duval's system has dropped from 1st to 10th in just 1 week and is in danger of losing almost half of the systems her members, real people lest we forget, have poured countless hours into securing. And that's fascinating. Granted, it's probably fascinating in the same way the Premier League table is fascinating only to those who actually follow football, but the point is it's energised the community of Elite players in a huge way. Basically, Elite properly has its hooks in me again. I now fly one of the new ships, the Diamondback Scout, meaning I can make my money through bounty hunting and exploration, and I have enemies now. There are people I can shoot with impunity simply because they don't support man. For the first time, I feel like I've properly found a niche in Elite Dangerous. Will I stay in it? I don't know, but the galaxy makes sense for the first time, and that's nice. Of course, that's all very good and well, but Power Play was pretty much preaching to the converted when it landed on my PC. Lest we forget, Frontier is now facing an entirely new, well, frontier now that Elite Dangerous has arrived on Xbox One as part of its preview program. They've done a great job of translating the experience to console, even getting around the fact the Xbox controller has considerably fewer buttons than a QWERTY keyboard. But while the experience is extremely well translated, is it one console players will necessarily gel with straight away? I mean, I use my console for action games like The Witcher 3, not for games with a significant grind built into their very DNA. That's PC territory, surely. Well, enter Close Quarter Combat, the self-contained dogfight mode designed to fast-track players into understanding the excitement Elite has to offer. CQC exists outside of the main game, meaning you don't risk blowing up your own lovingly maintained ship, nor do you get punished for ignoring the mode altogether. Instead, it offers a fast-paced dogfight in ships that otherwise aren't available because they can't frameshift jump, as David ably explains.
Well, when we're looking at CQC, we wanted something where people could play immediately, and CQC fulfills that role. It's the going in and getting action straight away, because I think that fills part of the a sort of stepping stone, if you like, into the main game, where you can practice and get good at the skills that you need to be able to fight in the main game, if you like. So that's where it came from. And I love the way you just dive in and fight. It's a very social activity.
I had a look at CQC behind closed doors at E3, and frankly, it looks really exciting. Putting an arcadey spin on combat is a really smart move for Elite, and I think it no coincidence that it's arriving for the console version first. Overall though, I think it'll make a welcome addition to the PC and Mac versions too, opening combat back up to those who have committed wholesale to other activities like trading, buying ships that aren't any good in a fight. I mean, there were a number of times in my early days in Elite where I'd fancy going on a bounty hunt, only to remember I was carrying loads of valuable cargo I didn't want to risk losing. Generally, I don't really enjoy fighting actual players either, so if this gives me the chance to shoot their faces off guilt-free, yeah, I'm for that. In short, Elite Dangerous is still very much a strange beast, requiring investment, patience and imagination, but the state of the game is currently brighter than it's ever been. There are new structures, new incentives, and some encouraging signs Frontier is listening to its players. Hooray for space, basically.
Frameshift drive charging.
Probably one of the most useful new additions is the Icarus Dash. It looks and works very similarly to the Blink ability in Dishonored. You can use it to zip by enemies unnoticed, cover more ground more quickly, or pass through otherwise impossible obstacles.